Locals report. Played Materiactor. Round 1 vs Sword Soul. I go first and then on X guard plus Gossip Shadow through a droll. Opponent has Moye, which I turn into a draw, and Longwan, on whom I bounce the token. Opponent is forced to pass back, and while I can't OTK, I set up a board that seals them out of the game. Game 2, opponent goes first and ends on Draco Berserker with a blackout. I bait the Draco Berserker and use talents on the Berserker to out the rest of their board. End up passing on SP plus a bunch of hand traps. SP plus Nibiru gets me another turn, and while I can't OTK, I set up a huge Zeus and they can't beat it. 2-0 win. Round 2 vs Malice. Game 1, I go first and set up the X-Guard and Gossip Shadow through Droll again, after talents ripping the only starter out of their hand. Opponent basically passes back, and while I can't OTK, I set up an unbreakable board plus hand traps to clean it up. I'm starting to realize I need to find a more consistent OTK line. Game 2, opponent goes first with bricks on set 2 pass. My hand is also bricks and I pass back. They top deck White Rabbit, which I Lancia to prevent them from using the trap, but with a wizard already in hand, they're able to link climb into Red Ransom. Even though I can crack the board on my next turn, I can't beat a Search March Hare for follow-up and scoop it up. Game 3, I brick on no starters and end up passing. Opponent has Malice combo through Lancia and sets up a board that I can't break, especially with Impulse to back it up. Lose 1-2. Round 3 vs Blue Eyes. Game 1, opponent goes first and passes on a Blue Eyes and some back row. My hand is a brick, but I'm able to stack my deck with Melt Through. I pass back and hand traps are enough to keep me alive as my opponent is also bricked. My top deck that I stacked was Terra Top, which gets me after the races, but Ash and Valor force me to pass again. Opponent is still stuck on their Blue Eyes and beats over X-Guard and passes. This time my top deck Meltdown gets me into Zepwing, which is enough to full combo and I'm able to set up a 8 material Zeus cleaning up the game. Game 2, opponent goes first again and passes on nothing after I Ash Wishes. I set up a full OTK this time with a Shuriken and end up taking the game 2-0 win. Round 4 vs Pearly. This one was quick. Game 1, I go first and brick, passing on nothing. Opponent can't OTK through Droll, but sets up a Beauty. That checks my top deck Zepwing and I scoop it up. Game 2, I go first and brick again, passing on nothing. I love Yu-Gi-Oh! The Fua I kept in for crossout plus Droll does save me once again, but I'm staring down a 2 activation Noir and can't beat that with any top deck, so I scoop it up. Quick 0-2 loss. Overall, the deck is super inconsistent and there aren't many Materiactor cards in general. I think variance was definitely in play because I saw multiple of the normal more than any other Materiactor. But I'll get back to the lab and cook up something good for next week. Comment down below what you want to see next.